Hi, everybody. How you doing today? My name is Jane Power, and I'd like to welcome you to The Called. And I'm here with my friend, Mr. Larry Webb, author of his new book called From This to Bliss.
The little book, From This to Bliss.
There we go.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Yep.
All righty. A little plug there.
Little plug here, a little plug there. It's good.
Excellent. Okay.
It's a good thing.
All
It's like a book you should read,
That's right. I'm going to start reading it.
without a doubt. I'm not saying you. Everybody should read it.
Well,
To be honest with you,
I've read 10 pages, Larry.
you read 10. You're in 10.
And
10 and good.
so I started reading it. Well, it took me a while to get to the point where I was going to read it. And then one day I was thinking to myself, I have an addiction of sorts to sugar, carbs, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this would help me. So I took it on vacation with me, my little weekend, and I started to delve into it.
Well, it's a crazy thing because people think of addiction and they think of, drugs and stuff like that. Everybody's addicted.
I know, we are.
There's no one on this planet that's not addicted.
I could be addicted
It's
to
just,
CNN or
Exactly.
or the Today Show every morning at 7 o'clock, like I am.
Yep. So everyone has an addiction.
So this is a book that could help a lot of people.
And it's interesting because I did I probably passed out about 100 books just for people to look at and get feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of parents came back to me and said, I'm going to have my kids read this. It's not like their kids are struggling with addiction,
Right.
but it's the concepts in the book that
Exactly.
that set you up for kids up for success and how to handle life and look at things. And they don't teach it in school, which is kind of scary.
No, exactly.
That it should be taught in school.
It should be taught in school.
Yeah, so it's got different. It's got more than just the addiction part of it.
Well, is this what you were teaching when you were teaching those classes? Does it have to do with that kind of stuff?
I was when I was working at the high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually throwing in little parts and little things,
Little
and stuff like
tidbits
that.
here and there.
Yeah, anything that would try to empower them. It's like you try to get them to connect, basically, because they really just these are high school kids, and they were freshmen to seniors. They're already in a school in which that they think they're in a special school because it's a alternative school.
Oh, okay.
So they think that we're the troubled kids, and they put us all in one school,
Right.
basically.
Exactly.
So that's what they got believing in the first place.
I was one of those kids.
I was definitely one of
I
those
mean,
kids.
I wasn't really a troubled kid. I wasn't a bad kid, but I was definitely, my parents thought something was not right with me because I was just very compulsive, and I stayed back when I was in second grade. I mean, how many kids stay back when they're in second grade?
I did. Second grade.
Oh, you did too?
Second grade, yeah.
Hey,
Second
pound
grade.
it, Larry. All
That's
right.
Something about that second grade, man. Woof. I was like, how many years do I got to do this? What?
I know.
I want out right now.
I know.
So,
It was
so
bad.
as Wayne Dyer would say, we were scurvy elephants.
Yeah, exactly.
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 And so, so for anyone that doesn't know that Wayne Dyer story of what a scurvy elephant is, it's he goes to school, and the teachers are talking, and he hears them say that. So he goes home to his parents. He goes, the teachers were talking about me, and they were saying I was a scurvy elephant.
Mm-hmm.
And the parents were like, scurvy elephant? What's a scurvy elephant? So when the parents had the PTA meeting, they go in and they found out. And they come home and they said, they didn't say you were a scurvy elephant.
Yeah.
They said you were a disturbing element.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, me
I
too.
was definitely a disturbing element.
I
Oh
was-
my God.
Yeah, so I was too. So,
Yeah.
so that being the case, I was one of them, except they didn't have schools like that back then.
Right.
So you just stayed amongst everybody else. And, when you see yourself that way, you start to live yourself that way. Like there's something wrong with me.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah,
so,
I was always the one in the special reading class, the special math class.
Yep.
You know, I used to call them the dum-dum classes.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. And that's what you would think.
Yeah.
Is that I have issues.
I would
can't read.
I would never be raising my hand for anything. I'd be the shrinking violet in the back of the room. That was me.
Yeah. Anyone that knows me from high school, and they see me now here talking, they'd be like, "He's talking," because I used to stutter so bad that they put me in front of the class to read something,
Yeah.
and I'd literally have tears coming down my eyes, going like that,
Really?
constantly.
So how did you work your way out of this? I mean, what happened?
I still stutter. No one hears it.
No, I've never heard you stutter, Larry. Ever.
So what happened is my mother and father used to say, my mother used to say, "You're stuttering because you're not thinking of what you're going to say. So slow everything down.
Your brain is moving
and
faster
you'll
than your mouth.
start to
right?
get it." Right. And what do I do as a kid? I sped everything up instead. I went just the opposite of what she said.
Yeah.
So now I talk really fast, and you can't hear the stutter.
Oh,
So it's kind of
okay.
went away. But they were troubled by it for sure.
But you say that you can't, like, when I asked you if you wanted to read these, a God message every
You
now
would
and then.
notice the stutter. Yeah.
Really?
Because in my mind, I would go into, you're going to stutter over some of these words, and that would automatically click back in.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I get a little panicky reading these, too. I felt like I was breaking a sweat. You know, I was starting to lose track of where
Yeah.
am I? Where am I?
Exactly. So, yeah. That's what it's like. That's exactly what it's like.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I'd be sweating bullets constantly. So,
So you're just like Joe Biden then.
oh boy, I wouldn't go there. I don't want to go there. Let's not go there.
He might be able to help you.
Huh?
He might be able to help you.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't easily just start saying all the time whenever I have having a conversation, "Let me tell you the deal. Here's the deal."
So how was your weekend?
It was a good weekend. It was kind of good. The weather was nice. Everything was kind of good. So,
We had a good weekend.
yeah.
We went looking for a garage. We're going to get a garage that we can just have somebody
I noticed.
to deliver to our house
I
because
noticed, yeah.
I just bought a new car later.
Yep. Yep.
And, a lot of people my age are saying, I just bought a new car and this should last me the rest of my life. And I'm just like, oh, my God, that's freaking scary when I hear people say stuff like that are my age.
Yeah.
But it really could last me the rest of my life if I'm only putting 4 miles a day on it, because I have that short little commute.
Right. Right. And
You never know.
I always tell people when you get a new car, just get it out the way. Get a little small hammer
No.
and walk over to it and go tap, so you can get it out of the way, because it's going to happen. You just don't know when, but it's going to happen.
Oh, I've got a little quick little car story.
Yeah.
So I bought it was a used, but it was new to me. Bought a van. Had it in my garage. I was with one of my exes, and we're talking in the garage, and I just brought it home, pulled it in my driveway, in my garage. He's leaning up against it, and then we're finished with the conversation, he goes to push off my car, and his rear end makes a big dent in my side door. He's like, "Oh, it's all right. It's not that big." I'm like, "You're having that fixed."
Yeah.
What's that buzzing noise? Oh, I'm getting text. Sorry.
It's probably your phone that you have on, by the way.
Yeah, it is my phone that I have on, but I don't have the volume on. So, yeah, that's my
It's just
car.
vibrating.
No, I don't want that to happen to my new car because this is the first new car I've ever had in my whole life, Larry. This is the first one I've ever bought.
See, I usually get leases.
Well, that's what
'Cause
I had.
I don't drive very far, so I get the lease and stuff like that. And my last lease, so I have this car. It's in mint condition. I'm just like, no one ever sat in the back seat.
Right, mine was in mint condition. I
for
had
the
all my
4
seats
years
all
that I have
covered.
it. So, mint condition. And the next morning, I'm bringing it in. So I went into a store, and I'm walking out of the store,
Yeah.
and I see a car backing up. Smash! It goes right into my car. Poof. And I was like, "You gotta be kidding!"
Oh my God.
You gotta be kidding! It's like, really? Yeah, but that's
So did you get the guy's name, or did you have to put? You
they were
didn't
right.
share
They were right there. Yeah, they realized they did it, and
Uh.
and they stopped and everything. But I was like, bring this car back tomorrow. Did you have to? They didn't bang it up bad or anything. So
All right. Well, let's send my
Yeah.
car love. Let's send my car a lot of love.
wish
So-
you the best of luck.
Thank you.
That's
you.
it. That's,
Yes, when Larry arrived tonight, he saw Jimmy putting the cover on my car. We're gonna keep it under wraps until I get a garage. I used to have a garage, but I don't have one anymore because now it's a family room.
Hmm.
So that's what we did this weekend.
nice.
Went garage hunting. It's weird, but it was
Nice.
cool though because
Yeah.
it was a guy that was on his podcast. Caleb, did you ever meet that guy from Sawyer Sheds?
Yes.
He was cool. He comes walking towards us, and he had this big. He looked like he just got off a horse and buggy in Amish country. I thought it was a fake beard, but it was real. And
Hmm.
I guess he is. Is he Amish or what is he? He's a Mennonite. Yeah,
Midnight.
yeah. So I think that's pretty much all I did this weekend.
That's it.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
Uh,
Anything good happen this week? Anything different?
God, my life is so busy. I can't even keep track of it all. Let me think. Well, I had lunch with a friend today. We're gonna have her on the show. She is a conspiracy analyst, and so we had a lot of conversations. And she's kind of like me. She's kind of bouncing off the wall. She's just like, okay, we have an hour and a half to talk, and I have so many things that we have to touch on. So here we go. And then she just starts firing at me, you know.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the weather warfare. What's going on right now is we've got forest fires out in Portland or the Oregon area, right where my daughter lives, which I sent her a frantic text this weekend because I had heard that a couple people were killed out there due to a forest fire. So I'm like, Emily, are you all right? And she didn't text me right away, so I start firing off all the, one text after the other. She's like, Mom, I'm fine. It's about as far from where we are now to New Haven. So,
Yeah.
so we've got that going on. So the woman I had lunch with today was talking about, how all those fires are created with the whole weather warfare. She called it weather warfare. That there's some kind of machine where they can shoot down laser beams and start fires. And
It's in Alaska. Go ahead.
well, I've heard of it. It's called the HARP.
Mhm.
Is the machine called a HARP, or is it?
They just call it the HARP. It's
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's area that's large area, and
Yeah.
people
But-
have heard things at night happening and stuff like that there. So
And
they
people
don't
have
really, they don't
seen-
really know what's going on there. So
People have seen stuff come out of the sky and start fires.
Mm. Yep.
What do you think about that?
well, to get me off on that tangent, we'll be talking for a long time. So we're not going to go there.
Okay.
But I think there's a lot of validity to it. And it's so
The weather
it's
has
so
been
strange.
weird.
It's so strange that people they hear the word conspiracy and they automatically
Think that person's a whack job.
think they automatically say that person's a whack job, there's something wrong with them, they're crazy, oh my goodness, not one of these people again.
Yeah.
If you go back to the origin of conspiracy, where that whole thing started, where people started to say that, it was the JFK assassination. And that's where they started to use that.
Started.
And that was a whole plan to get people to start saying, if you say it's a conspiracy, you're crazy.
Right.
And when I was working in the school system with high school kids, I would say to them, when you hear conspiracy, what do you think? And they say the same thing. Oh, well, they roll the eyes and someone's crazy. But if you look in the dictionary, under the word conspiracy, what does it say?
I don't know. Tell me.
It says like people say, was 9/11 a conspiracy? I don't care what you think. It's a conspiracy because the definition is when two or more people conspire to do something wrong. That's a conspiracy. So if there were supposedly 4 planes, it's a conspiracy. So
True,
when people
true.
say it's not a conspiracy, well, we know it's a conspiracy because more than one person planned this.
Right, right. True.
So it's kind of funny, but that's one of the things I was doing at the school too, is like have them realize things like that. Realize things like when someone says conspiracy, don't knock it off and just say someone's crazy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um,
Yeah, but people don't want to hear that kind of stuff.
of course they don't want to hear it because it takes you out of your comfort zone.
Right.
We have this natural, there's a word for it. And I'm not going to come up with it right now, but there's a word for it
Yeah.
in psychology, basically, where they say, I'll come up, it'll pop in my head. But
Are you having a senior moment later?
no, it's you know what it is? This is one of those words that I know, but I always lose it when I think of it because it's a real simple word.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It'll come to you by the end of the show.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully. If not, next week I'll just say it. I'll blurt it right out.
Okay. All right.
And we'll know that that's what that was. So,
Oh, God.
but it's just, it's like things like that. It's like when you're talking to a group of kids like that are in high school, you're like, you're going to be the next generation that's coming up. I wonder if you guys are going to do what we do. And that is we pick the lesser of two evils.
Well,
we
just have been very busy. We've just been so busy to even pay attention.
But I mean, so you want them to sit there and think, would we do that? When we get to that time in our life, it's time for us to vote. Are we going to just decide, oh, evil, let's pick which one's less evil, or are you going to do something different?
Are you talking about the elections?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, for them to be thinking about that now. Are you going to do what we're doing? Because we've been doing what everybody else has been doing. They've been passing it down to us.
Mm-hmm.
They pass it down to us.
But what are they going to do?
It's funny. Hey, do something different. Why not? Why not?
Oh, boy.
It's
Caleb,
scary
you
when
got a
people.
long road ahead of you, Caleb.
It's scary when people think for themselves rather than being thought. And that's
Right.
what usually happens. That we are thought. We're being thought, and a lot of what you see on television when we were kids, they used to call it TV programs because they're programming you, and if you're not paying attention, you just get programmed. You just kind of go along with it.
It's true.
Yeah. It's like if you take someone who leaves their TV on at night and they watch TV all night when they go to bed.
Yep.
When they wake up in the morning, they have things in their head that they don't know where they got them from. Your subliminal picked it up, and you are now saying
Oh, and
it.
you have dreams about stuff like that? Oh, that's happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is just how powerful your mind is, which is kind of interesting. One of the things that's in that was in the book is that you have this consciousness, and in your consciousness, 95% of what you think that's going on is your subconscious. So that means that the conversation that you and I are having, 5% of what we're talking about is conscious. We're very aware of it.
Right.
95% of what's going on is subconscious. So who's running the show?
I don't know.
95%. The subconscious is. And if
Wow.
you think it doesn't happen, and when you drive your car
Oh,
and you're having a conversation, you're not looking at the road.
oh my
Yeah.
God! I can't tell you how many times
Yeah.
I've pulled in my driveway and I'm like, how the hell did I even get here?
Yeah.
But it's always been when I was talking to somebody on the phone or whatever.
Exactly. You're talking.
You know?
You shouldn't be talking on the phone.
No, it's through Bluetooth.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But still.
But still, when you're having that conversation and you're involved and stuff like that, and you're driving down the road and someone hits the brakes, your subconscious knows it, and you look up and you hit your brakes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, oh, something's happening. But that's your subconscious, because your subconscious is now driving. When you first learn how to drive, they say, get in the car, put the thing in gear, look over your shoulder, and then you stop doing that after a while, because what happens? Your subconscious picks it up, and then you do it routinely.
Right.
You don't
Right.
think about doing it. You just do it.
Right.
So
Huh.
things like that fascinate me. I don't know why. They just fascinate me, and I don't have to look
Oh,
into them.
God.
So So that's why.
I'm just like after today, after she just kept firing off all these things. I was
Yeah.
just like I was fried. I was just like my brain was just didn't know which way to take.
You can
which
easily
way to
get
go.
fried, and that's why I said we don't want to get into all that.
Yeah,
'cause-
I'm just like, why do you need to know all
Yeah.
this stuff?
yeah. And what do you do with it when you do?
Exactly.
You do know it. What do you do?
Well, it's just like watching the news too. It's the same thing.
I don't know what you mean
You
because I
know?
don't watch the news, so
Oh.
I'm not sure. What do you mean?
I don't even know what I mean. I don't know.
It's interesting because I have a lot of clients that I've worked with and stuff like that. Just to be aware, I said instead of watching, I said so the news is on, and you're watching the news, and I can always tell you what happened in the news without watching it. I
know,
never
we
watch
talked
it.
about
Fire, death, murder,
Trump saying something.
car
stupid.
crash, something. Yeah, something happened. All that stuff goes on, and no matter when I say it,
No,
people
I know.
people believe it because that's what happens usually in the news.
Right.
All right. So I said, what's important is this. It's not what's happening in the news. What are they selling in between during the commercials? What are they selling?
Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff going on.
A lot of that
I
stuff
swear
going
to God,
on.
Like I could tell you, read you the commercials
Yeah.
word by word.
Yeah. And it's amazing that that's what they're selling. But that's what they're selling. So when you get all hyped up and you're watching death and murder and death and murder, you want to have it said, you want to fly a kite with your girlfriend and run down holding hands and feel good? Take this drug.
Yeah.
You want to feel good, and you're at this point. You're like, I should call my doctor and ask if it's good for me.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get into that whole entire thing, which is kind of cool. It's like a segue because I had this long conversation about meditation versus medication. Okay, they both can do the same thing, except one has less side effects.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people like the easy way out. They like to just take the pill and let the pill do all the work. Meditation is work to some people.
Ah.
Yeah, well, you know me. I've been told over and over again by spirits, angels, my father when he had crossed over, God, that I need to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Do I?
Well,
I did. I don't.
but
I kind of meditate when I walk my dog.
the beauty of this is the message at the end of the show is so great. I don't even have to defend it because it's said right there about meditation, and it's
Right.
how it simplifies it to,
Close your eyes.
I teach meditation to people, and I try to simplify it and stop making it this big deal.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's how humans are. We want to read a book. We want somebody with authority to teach us.
Yep.
We think we just make everything more difficult than need be.
It's like, we want to be programmed.
Right.
Is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And our program starts when we're little babies and we're downloading everything that we see.
Exactly.
So so it's like, when you step away from that and see what your mind will really do, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked meditating.
Where it goes.
I got a lot of messages when I meditated. Right down in this room, right over there, I used to meditate. I used to sit under the hairdryer. I'd have warmth and the buzz and ooh.
That's fine.
I got some cool messages.
Yeah.
But
I sat on the beach at night and meditated and just sat there and listened. And a book came out of it. That's all I know. A book came out of it.
Really?
Yeah. And like I said, you get these knowings from your own mind. You get a knowing, wherever that comes from. You pick it up there, but you pick it up in silence.
And you spend a lot of time in silence. See,
I spend a lot of time in silence. Yes.
I'm somebody that's got to be going.
Yeah.
And I wish I could just.
You could. You just
not go.
You're just used to going and going and going.
I know, but I kind of like that though. I mean, Could I become somebody that could sit for hours like you and meditate? Or is it just that I just don't have it in me?
I wouldn't say I sit for hours.
You told me you
Meditate.
sat
Takes
for
people-
one whole day and meditated.
That's true. That's
There is
true.
no way that I could sit still for one whole hour. I can't even sit still for 15 minutes for
to
crying
make it
out loud.
to make it even more interesting. The day that I chose to do that was Christmas. It was to sit in
Christmas.
silence all day.
And you know what I was doing. Well, it
I
couldn't
can't
have been,
imagine what you
wait,
were
it
doing.
couldn't have been last Christmas because you were
No.
at my house.
No, not this. No, it wasn't last Christmas.
Okay.
No, there was a Christmas a couple of Christmases ago where I decided that's how I spend the entire day.
Oh my God.
It was phenomenal.
I couldn't do it. No way.
I like to challenge myself to things that I normally think I couldn't do, and see like I said, and see where my mind would go, and what it would be like.
I'd like to challenge
Yeah.
myself to finish reading your book and see if I could successfully change the way that I eat by doing what you talk about in your book.
Yeah. Well,
Because, I'm getting to that age where I'm starting to get those little notices in the mail from Medicare. Are you getting those yet, Larry?
I'm on Medicare, so I'm way past that.
No. Oh, okay. That's right. You are on Medicare. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Well,
Yeah.
I've got about 6 more months.
If I wasn't on that situation, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So,
Every day I get another letter
yeah.
saying that I've got to, start really looking into that.
You got time.
I got time.
About 4 or 5 months when you got.
God.
Yeah. So.
So, anyways, I'm going to keep reading that book
Good.
and see what happens.
Good. Yeah. It's what I think the most amazing thing about this little book is it's a little book. It's 70, I think maybe 70 pages now
Yeah, you would
with
think,
all the bells and whistles.
you would think I'd be able to whip right through it, but no.
Everybody thinks they're going to
I've
whip
been
right
freaking
through it.
highlighting like crazy.
Everybody thinks that they're going to whip right through it. And I don't know many people that have. Most
No,
people,
you can't whip
most
right
people, it's
through
like,
it.
you don't go right through it like
You
that.
got to read it, reread it, and then
Yeah.
try to understand it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's understandable. It was meant to be understandable,
Okay,
so
well,
yeah.
I've got the the 65-year-old brain, so
A 65-year-old brain. I've got one of those. Do I have one of those?
yeah,
it's
you
good.
got one too.
Yeah, it's working there.
Yeah, pickle brain. Jesus,
Well,
I can't believe we're there.
it's yeah. There was a time when I would look at my parents and go, "You're old.
I know.
You guys are old. 60s."
I know.
It's like unheard of.
Yeah, well, I had a conversation. We were going up to the cottage a couple weeks ago, my daughter and I, and her little son, and my daughter was asking me what I was thinking of doing with my house. Are you going to sell it and get something smaller and
Downsize.
downsize? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to get something smaller. I mean, how am I going to fit all my family in my house since I'm the one who's always delegated to have every kind of holiday? Why would I want something smaller? I wanted, I'd like a house the size I have now, only an old house. Oh, mom, you don't want that. No, you should get a 1-story condo. I'm like, I told her to shut up. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting a 1-story condo.
Mm.
You know your mother. She's going to do what she wants.
And plus, you just got finished saying, I gotta go. So therefore, you need the room to be able to do all that.
Exactly.
You couldn't downsize and be, yeah. That'd be a little rough.
Exactly.
That'd be a little rough for sure.
So
we have most. The other thing that is really coming about and everyone's freaking out about is we just can't wait for November to get here. I think that's. I think it's
I
kind
just
of.
had that conversation.
I think it's humorous. Me personally, I think it's humorous that, as I call it, the big game that we think we're in, that we're not in,
right.
that we're not playing, but we think we're playing.
Oh, I like what my friend said.
What's that?
That there's 2 parties, so there's one bird that has 2 wings.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so true.
It's pretty funny, and it'd be the hype for it, and everyone's getting all worked up about it. It's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Well, you know what my brother said last night is he's like, in past elections, we get a new president, and then we just go on with our lives, and we don't watch the news and hear what the president is doing every single day. Whereas this president gives us,
But-
lots to talk about. So my brother just can't wait until after the election, and if Joe Biden wins, that everything will just be quiet, and we won't have to listen to this anymore, and we'll live happily ever after. Right, Larry?
Well, you would think that's how it works, but basically, no matter who the president is, there are people who watch every single day to watch what they're doing,
Right.
just
Well,
to
I
see
think
what they're
this
doing.
has been a period
Yeah.
of awakening, don't you?
Oh yeah,
I think people
Yeah.
are like, I never knew a thing about politics, but I'll admit I've been watching CNN, and
well, you admit it. Oof.
I know. I hate
It's,
I hate to admit that around Larry. Because
There's a whole
Larry
entire
doesn't-
thing. There's a whole entire thing about from ancient past and stuff like that. Where we talk about connective consciousness.
Mhm.
We get the president that we're supposed to get, based
definitely.
on the connective consciousness of people
He woke
and
people up.
and what's going on.
The
So
president we have now has
Yeah.
awoken people,
yeah, I mean,
and we can see we can see the corruption, all the corruption in this world, or in the United States. I mean, people who
how
thought
old? Let me see. How old am I? 64.
64 and a half.
Been watching it since I was born, right through to now. So
See, I never paid attention.
it's not that you can pay attention. You just
Never
know that
paid
it's.
attention
You
to
just
any
know
of
that
it.
you just know that it's going on. You don't have to really pay attention to it. You kind of know what's going on.
No, I was in a little bubble.
Really?
Yeah, I was. And I now that I kind of know what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't wish I was back in that bubble.
Yeah. Well, understand. I understand what you're saying.
Because if you
that
don't
you're
watch
in a
the
bubble.
news,
Mm-hmm.
life is pretty damn good. I mean, really.
That's true.
You would, you go to the grocery store, maybe the grocery prices are a little higher. Although I have to say, people do seem a little more stressed out now. Don't you think?
Well, if you're wearing a mask in the grocery store, yes.
No,
My-
if you're not wearing a mask in the grocery store.
My stress is to get the mask off as soon as I can
Yeah, mine is too.
to get outside of the building
Right.
as fast as I can. So
I usually have
my list is short.
I usually have it dangling from my ear. I'm actually kind of liking the mask, I have to say. I put that on. I put my sunglasses on. Nobody knows who the hell I am, and I can just maneuver through the store without having to strike up a conversation with anyone, and I'm kind of liking that.
I sent you a email.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, make sure that when you send me an email, Larry,
Yeah.
that you text me and tell me that you sent me an email,
Yeah.
because you know me with reading emails.
Well, you should definitely look at this email,
Okay.
and then we'll come back next week and have the same discussion about the mask. Okay. So
Wait, what was? Oh, okay.
yeah, it's about that.
You can't tell me what it's about.
Well, it's I
Basically,
just
wearing the mask is not good for you. That's what I've heard.
yeah, that's what these doctors are all saying. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I watched that
Yeah,
video.
there's a
Did you see it on Facebook?
no,
That's where I saw it.
I didn't see it on Facebook.
This woman was a PPE expert, and she said it's not good for you to be wearing that mask
Yeah,
all the time.
there's a whole group of
But
world.
most people, the majority of people, are not wearing them all the time.
Well,
the majority
yeah,
of the people are wearing them for half hour here, half hour there. It's people like me. I have to wear
You
my
have to
mask.
wear-
I have to wear it
yeah.
all day. I mean, I'm standing over my client for at least a half hour while I'm applying color. So after that, I usually hightail it
Right.
outside with my dog or whatever. I feel bad for people that have to wear it
well, I have
constantly, like my friend Wendy, who's the dental hygienist. She's got to have
Right.
that thing on all day
to.
long.
I don't know how they do it.
I don't know
I
how
w-
they do it either.
I am a dialysis patient, so I have to wear a mask for the 4 hours that I go out to take the dialysis,
Oh, you do?
which is why I can't wait to do it back at home.
yeah.
So I wear the mask.
Mm-hmm.
I make them give me oxygen
Really?
so that I can breathe.
That's a good idea.
Well, and they're like, and every time they come in, they say, "So, do you have shortness of breath?" No, I'm wearing this mask. So,
So they
the
don't.
oxygen makes
So
me.
they don't want to give you oxygen.
Well, not unless you need it. And I need it. So,
Yeah.
if not, I won't be able to just sit there and just relax.
Yeah.
You know,
Good.
if I have the oxygen, I can meditate away and 4 hours goes by like that.
Wow.
Yeah. If I don't have it, I'm struggling breathing constantly.
Yeah.
So there's something not good about that because it's not your regular breath.
Right. Right.
It's not your regular what your body would normally do in and out. And there's something wrong with that.
Right.
Yeah. Something abnormal about the way your body would normally react to air.
Well,
as
every
opposed
time
to
you
struggling
every
it.
time you breathe in, the whole mask goes practically down your throat.
Yeah. So
So when will you go back to the other kind of dialysis?
it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow I'm getting the procedure done to put the port back in my stomach. So
Okay.
yeah. So after that about
And
2
what
weeks
is-
after.
So do you want to talk a little about what it entails, your home dialysis, or?
Home dialysis is basically they give you this machine at home, and you basically have 3 or 4 bags, and basically it's sugar, kind of like a sugar element, basically. And what its job is you hook up yourself at night
Mm-hmm.
to the machine
Yeah.
for 8 or 9 hours. Mine is 9 hours.
Oh, really? I thought yours was only 8.
It was 8. They increased it to 9.
Okay.
So
And
and
sugar cleans?
it actually cleans out all the toxins out of you. So that's your dialysis. Whereas if you go to outpatient dialysis,
Which is
like,
what you've
like
been
I went
doing.
to today, yeah, they
Right.
basically they pull your blood out, they take the toxins out of your blood, and then put it back in.
So all of your
Basically.
blood is taken out and cleansed.
Pretty much, yeah.
But this home technique does not cleanse the blood.
No.
Wow.
Yep.
So which you feel better after doing the home technique or do you notice
so,
the difference?
Yeah, you know the difference. I mean, for myself, my experience has been 2 hours after doing the outpatient dialysis, I'm a little tired. So it's not something that I would go to work afterwards and do,
Right.
for 2 hours after, because I kind of get exhausted fast
Okay.
after that. If I do it at home, so you would think, wouldn't you want to do 4 hours as opposed to 9 hours? No, I'd rather do the 9 hours and feel great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
As opposed to having the up and down drop. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I would think you'd feel a little more normal because you're doing it every single day,
Oh, yeah. As far as normal could be.
as far as normal could be.
When you're hooked up to a machine at night, yeah.
God,
so-
I pull up in the driveway at the salon, and Larry's out on looks like you're on the loading deck waiting for the shipment to come in.
That's it. Bringing it in.
God.
Yeah. So,
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, brother.
yeah. So it's just it's more maintenance than anything else you have
Yeah.
to keep up with.
Yeah.
That's and it has to be very sterile because you
And
don't want to
keep
get
that
an
mask
infection.
on.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you pop your mask on, set yourself up, and
And
Yeah.
away you go.
away you go.
Wow.
That's it. So
Alrighty.
we went into that last week with the whole dialysis thing anyway. So
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
All right.
dialysis dating, remember?
Oh, that's right. The old dialysis dating.
Dialysis dating.
God.
Okay. Okay. So, what else has been happening? Anything? No?
I did a reading last week.
There we go.
I did
Now
a-
we're getting this.
I did a reading last week.
When I say
for-
to you something new happened, this is what I'm trying to pull teeth.
See, this is how we start our podcast. I usually am like, I want to have like bullet points of everything I'm going to be talking about. And I ask Larry, so what are we going to be talking about? And Larry's like, I don't know. Just let it flow. I have a very hard time with that, but I'm learning. But anyway, so yes, last week I did a reading with Caleb's girlfriend. And well, I did it at the salon. I mean, I used to do that all the time. I
Mhm.
mean, when I first opened my salon, I was doing readings 2 or 3 times a week. Somebody would come in and I'd put their color on and they'd be like, "Oh, can we go talk to the angels?" I mean, this is back when I was just getting pretty much mostly angel messages,
Mhm.
a couple spirit messages here and there. But then once I started writing my book, it was just I just concentrated on that, and I have certain people that I do the readings with, so it's kind of nice when I get asked to do it again.
Mm.
I get a little nervous though, because everybody comes into it with an expectation of
What it's going to be.
they hope Aunt Jenny comes through or this one comes through, but I never know who's going to come through.
Yeah.
So
So Caleb is actually in the room with us right here. He's
right.
basically producing all this and is here. So it's his first time actually seeing it, correct?
Yes, it is your
Correct.
first time, right, Caleb?
It was your first time seeing it.
Yeah.
So he's been hearing us talk about it and stuff like that, but actually seeing it, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's different. It's different if you see it with if I'm doing it with somebody that I've been doing it with a long time, because we're like a fine-tuned machine. When I'm doing it with somebody new, it's kind of tough because they don't know what to expect, and a lot of times, the thing's flying off the board or their hands are falling off, and they're getting a little frustrated. But I thought they did a great job, and I thought her mother did a great job. So, we got a good message. I don't remember what it was about. I'll have to transcribe it. But it was probably about a 45-minute message. And then I think her mother, what was it, like 20-minute message? So Caleb taped it. So we're going to put it on the website when the website's done.
Cool.
So
I've tried it, I think 3 times.
yeah.
I think I've done it 3 times. And it's like, to me, it's like whack-a-mole. Trying to catch your hand. So I'm always like,
You just have to let go. See, that's when I go into my meditation.
yeah.
Because
Definitely.
I really am in a meditation. I mean, I like when it's done, I remember, the last few things that were talked about,
Mm-hmm.
and then the rest of it I can't remember. And I remember early on, I was always intrigued, because I would, sit there, I'd sit in bed and I would just transcribe the message word by word. And then I would just sit back and read the whole thing. And I just couldn't even believe that, number one, that it even made sense. And, I was always blown away by how amazing these messages were. And they really helped me in my life. Really helped me.
I had a discussion with a friend last night.
With your friend?
Yeah, with my friend.
Yeah.
And I happened to mention the podcast. And we went off on this whole thing of God and, basically he wanted to know, well, which God is talking to you? I was like,
Oh, this is your friend. Okay.
yeah, I was like, what? I was like, what? Which
Well, it
God?
all depends
Which
on
God?
what-
Yeah, so I don't know.
This has nothing to do with religion.
I know.
As
So
far as
I was
I'm
like,
concerned, there's one God for
Yeah.
all.
yeah, and so I was
End of
saying,
story.
but we kind of got into it. It was kind of good because we kind of, at the time, he basically told me that he's an atheist. So what are you talking about? So I really asked him the question. Well, what do you believe?
Yeah.
And basically, what he said to me, and I'm paraphrasing, I may not have it exactly right, but basically he said, I just look at everything like this. I look at life and I say, in this circumstance, what would Jesus do? And I was like,
Wait, so he believes in Jesus, but he doesn't believe in God.
so I'm saying to myself, so if that's how you live, so you kind of do believe, but in your own way,
Right.
basically, which everyone does in
Right.
their own way. So,
Right.
and I was saying,
It works.
and I was like, does it really matter what you call it?
Exactly.
If you're dyslexic, you call it dog,
Dog
or
is
you'd call it
definitely
God. So is that person that's dyslexic, are they wrong? And is there something wrong with that? And does God want you to say this or say that? So it's interesting.
God just wants to be called God. That's it. Not he, not she. Just God.
Yeah.
That was one of my messages. I don't know if I've already read that one or not, but
I don't remember that one yet.
I think that was at the very beginning.
Yeah.
But Wow.
And then if you go into the Bible and you look throughout the Bible, this whole entire thing, God only speaks about who He is once or twice, I think. And that's where He says, "I am what I am."
I am what I am,
That's
and that's it.
Yeah,
I am all.
Moses basically asked him, well, "What do I call you? You want me to lead these people, out of Israel and stuff like that? So, what? Who told me this? And I am what I am."
I am God.
Yeah. So
Cool.
it's pretty cool. It's another plug in the book because it's a reference in there.
Oh, is it?
There's a reference in there to that exactly that quote, and it was a great discussion between me and the editor, my editor and stuff like that, because we got into that one. That was really good. So
I realized one thing. I thought I should maybe have a glass of wine before we started this because I figured it was would relax me.
yeah.
But now I'm really realizing that I'm like too relaxed.
Oh, good.
And now I'm just like watching your mouth
Well,
open and close.
Well,
and
here's
I'm getting dazed.
so here's the thing.
So
That's kind of
remind
cool.
me, don't drink wine from now on, okay? Okay. What, Larry?
You're not Joe Rogan, so stop.
I know.
You can't just light up and go.
I know. We listened to a Joe Rogan podcast on the way home from New Hampshire, and he's every other word out of his mouth is fuck, and you can hear him toking on a joint and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, so this is what people are listening to? So then tonight when Larry came over, I was like, you know what? If Joe Rogan can take little hits off of joints, I'm gonna have a glass of wine.
Well,
Yeah, because I'm such a wine drinker. You know, what do I drink? Like 2 glasses a month.
I was looking at they had this 20-minute clip or so where they were showing his first podcast,
Oh, yeah.
and after they showed that, there was a little piece on this guy that was on his podcast in the early days.
Did he have guests right away?
We had his friends. Cause they're all they're all comedians and stuff like that, so they'd come on his show and it'd just make it an easy show. And then he started
Well, we
choosing
got friends too, and
choosing
they're
other
gonna be on our
guests.
show.
Yeah, I know. Guests
We got
are
some
coming.
good ones.
But he was having this guest on, and they had gotten high, so that they were wasted. And the guy was telling this story about something. And he goes, "Oh my God, Joe!" He goes, "I just got finished telling you this stupid story. I should have never have said. Just edit that part out." And Joe goes, "That's really cool, man. This is live. There's no editing. It's live. That's how the show is." So,
Well, I was cleaning out my jewelry drawer, and I found a little Tupperware container, and in it was a marijuana bud
bud.
that I found while I was cleaning my daughter's room after she went off to college.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm saving that bud for a very special day.
For when she comes home in a couple of weeks, and she'll be sitting right here.
Maybe the 4 of us, we can have a little powwow after we do a good podcast.
Yeah.
Or maybe we should do it before the podcast and experience the whole Joe Rogan thing.
What's her date that she's coming?
My daughter's
our podcast?
my daughter's coming home on October 4th, which is a Sunday. So the day after she comes home, I've already told her she's gonna be on it.
My God.
What? It'll be October 5th. What, Larry?
I can't do it.
You can't do it?
No.
Why?
I'm booked on that television show.
All right. Well,
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure another day.
Just
then.
change. We
It
just change
doesn't
the day.
matter.
Yeah, it's not like I'm
Yeah.
every night.
For crying out loud.
Yeah, we'll switch today. But
We can do it whenever we
I was just
want.
realizing that's the 5th. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so-
We'll figure it out. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that later.
So I would say, you really want to listen to this message. I think meditation is. I don't know how I would exist without meditation in my life. I just don't know how I would. And I know this message is on meditation, and it's a really good one. So.
So what do you suggest for somebody like me who's been battling with? Well, I haven't really been battling. It's just I just don't make time for it.
Right.
You know, I get up in the morning and my meditation is sitting watching the Today Show.
See,
Well,
and which is the meditation because right,
it's not. No,
once
it's
you
not
have
meditation
once you
at
have a
all.
stimulation going, it's gone. See,
Plus, I've got my coffee.
most people say I have no time for meditation.
I know, and all you need is 5 minutes.
If you meditate, everything else will line up as far as time. I'll say that again. So
Okay, so
people say, I don't have time for meditation. I don't have time for meditation. I have no time. I'm really busy. If you meditated first, all
the
of
minute
all
you
of
open
your
your
time,
eyes.
all of your time will line up for you
But I have a
during the
question.
day.
Do I have to do it the minute I wake up? Like I know Deepak Chopra always says, you know, you wake up, you pee, and you meditate.
You set. Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah. You set. Yeah.
So you can't just.
There's nothing.
Is it better to do it at the very beginning of the day, or is it just as good if I find a little 5-minute time period where I can sit down?
Anytime
and
that you just here's the thing. Anytime you can do it, do it. You
Okay.
just do it.
Okay.
There's this Eshwan Eshwar is his name,
Oh, that's
and
quite a name.
he's a well versed guy in meditation.
Mhm.
Meditates a lot and is really well known for it. And he had met some of his friends, and they were at one of their houses.
Mhm.
And this friend of his was saying to him, "So, have you read this book on meditation?" He looks at it and goes, "No, I haven't read that one." And he goes, "Oh, you should. I can't believe this. It's an awesome book on meditation." And then he shows him another one. How about this one? And he pulls off maybe 4 or 5 books on meditation. Right. And he goes, "You practice meditation. You haven't even read any of these books?" And he goes, "I don't have time for the books because I meditate."
That's good.
Yeah. I don't spend time reading about it.
Right.
I meditate. And
What
just
could
it.
they possibly teach you in these books about meditation?
Hmm.
You just close
Yeah.
your eyes and you just.
God says it so perfectly in the message. He says it so perfectly in the message.
Good. All right.
Don't need the experts.
Exactly.
Meditate.
Exactly.
So that's it.
All righty.
All right.
All right.
We will figure out the 5th.
Figure out the 5th.
We're gonna do that.
Okay.
But we will be having
What is
guests.
that? That's a couple weeks.
Couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah. So my daughter Emily is going to be our first guest, and she will be the first
Anointed.
of hopefully
Yes.
many. We've got a lot in store.
We've got many.
Yes,
We've
we've got a
got
lot
many.
in store. So,
Yeah.
All right. So let's go up and have hamburgers and.
We're having hamburgers.
We're
That's
having
what-
hamburgers. We're
Yeah.
having hamburgers and French fries. And you're having broccoli salad.
Joe Rogan has pot. We have hamburgers and French
And we're
fries.
having corn on the cob, too, because
There you
it's
go.
the last of the season. We better eat it while we can. All right.
All right.
So,
Excellent.
so we'll see you next week.
You got it.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a great week. Take care. 2/15/2019. It's called meditation. I want to talk to you about another way in which to connect with God and those on the other side. I want to talk to you about meditation and why it is so important to develop time to listen to your guides, angels, and God. Meditation is a practice that, when done on a daily basis, can fine-tune your listening ear and heart. Meditation is listening to God for answers to what concerns you. Meditation is our dialogue with you. I ask that each human put aside time every day to connect with us. You will be amazed by the information that you will receive. At first, you will not trust what you are hearing, but as time goes on and you become aware of the manifestations happening in your life on a daily basis, you will not only believe, you will know. You do not need to learn to meditate, and you do not need to do it in groups. Just sit quietly and receive. It is as easy as that. Humans make connecting with God a chore that need to be taught how to do by humans claiming to know God more than the rest. They do not and must not be followed. Humans must be reprogrammed to not follow. The only ones to follow are themselves, in their own way. Remember, I told you that there are no right or wrong ways to connect with me. There are many ways. All are good if they can finally hear me. I do not need to be worshipped, only loved. This is the problem with religion. Too much worshiping, not enough love. Take the worship and turn it to love. Love your pastor, don't worship him or her, and respect her just because he or she knows more than yourself, for he or she does not have more knowledge of me than you or the plants in the room with you now. Humans need to allow other humans to know me in their own way, not the way that is dictated by religion. Change is coming. Your children will begin the movement away from religion to love and acceptance of every individual on God's earth. I love you all of my children. I also want to tell my children that love is the winner every time. It may take a human many lifetimes to finally see what I tell you today. Humans believe that if something is too simple, it must not be of use in making their lives better. Complexity is what is sought after by many, and endless hours of study seems to be the only way to know me. I tell you it is not true. Simply sit down, close your eyes, and listen. Not with your ears, with your heart. I am there for you always. Your heart knows how a human should live a happy life. Love all, forgive all. Listen to me. Listen for my words. This is all I want from my children.